What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man, Coach Block, one half of TDS Radio. Yeah, you gotta act like you like me. Act like you like me.
This is
So tall.
yeah.
It's the. I can tell you why it would happen. It's the cord from the TV. It's so short. I had to make adjustments.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So, as you can see to my left, we have two people. You got your pillow?
He was just saying that.
Oh, okay.
People gonna be like, oh,
It's okay. There you
yes,
go.
I'm sure.
Here's your pillow. There we go. We good?
oh yes, honey. Now we talking.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
There we go.
Everybody else is, okay?
So as you can see, Auntie V's in the building, and next to Auntie V is my guy, James Perkins, the man who you guys were just telling me therapy's working for. So I guess I get to keep that up instead of being petty Pendergrass. But the things that we're being petty about is what we're going to talk about today, right, Auntie V?
Yes.
Triggers.
We don't have that kind of time. Yeah. But we're gonna start the beginning.
Okay, let's start at the beginning.
2-part session for that, right?
Yeah, we probably end up having a 2-part session.
Okay.
I mean, because we've been talking about this for a while. I mean, like James and I were talking about out there in the boonies. I have been preaching self-help, mental health, dealing with your triggers, how we can help with your triggers,
Right.
how our products can help with that,
Yep.
how it takes a village.
Mhm.
How it does. It takes a village.
Right.
And James and I are partnering up
Mhm.
because mental health is good health.
Yes.
And so
Mhm.
we are going to talk today
Okay.
about what that looks like,
All right.
about not only what those triggers are and how I can help,
Mhm.
but also how we can combine together and help all of y'all out there.
All right.
Because I didn't hear the message letter today, but
Do we
Oh, we
have?
didn't do it.
We didn't do it
y'all
yet.
didn't do it?
We're waiting on you.
One.
if
If
y'all
y'all
want
wanna
to
do
say, because all of you need to be zooming in on this conversation.
Right.
Y'all
Yeah.
tell me. We have one if y'all want to
Let's
do
do
it.
it.
'Cause we're
You wanna do it?
yeah, we
Okay.
I elevate, and then we can hand off.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Mm.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's time for our
The messy letter.
messy letter.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Let's
so
do
this
it.
one's a little lengthy. So stick with me, y'all. It says,
I know. I was gonna say, I don't have a pen.
Yeah.
I started dating this guy 3 years ago. Things got off to a good start. He always talked about how he wanted to start a business, that because his divorce ruined his credit, it was hard for him. He wanted to do transportation. After about a year, he asked me to co-sign on a car for him. I did, in spite of everything, because of the Jesus living in me. However, when the registration arrived, I discovered the vehicle was only in my name. He explained he couldn't get approved, apologized. I let it go since he wasn't going to be the one paying for it. Everything was okay. He paid the car without any issues. 6 months ago, he came and said he needed to upgrade and get a bigger car. He wants to transport family, and the Tesla was too small. Oh, a Tesla. Okay. He wanted to know if I will be able to provide some of the pay stubs to help him get a loan on the car. I hesitantly agreed despite my better judgment. I keep track of my credit. Shortly after I provided the pay stubs, my phone started blowing up. And when I went to check, I had over 13 inquiries. Before I could wrap my head around what was happening, he called to say he couldn't get approved for a new car. Since my social was on the pay stub, he asked the dealer to check if I would be approved. I got approved for the loan on my credit and income. He wanted to know if I would sign for him. Before I can answer, the dealer got on the phone. It was a huge mess. An argument occurred for hours on how they checked my credit without my permission. He apologized. After 2 weeks of him and the dealer harassing me nonstop to sign the loan and him begging how he needed the new car, against my better wishes, I went and signed for the loan. Within a span of 16 months, I've had 27 hard pulls on my credit and over $167,000 of vehicle debt. Credit also went down by 30 points. Just when things seemed to fizzle down, he started texting me pictures of another vehicle he's got his eyes on and said he needs a third car. I told him he will not beg, manipulate, or coerce me into signing 3 cars for over $200,000 for him within a span of 2 years, nor will I allow him to have an additional 13 plus hard pulls on my credit. I have already told him that I won't sign. I know him well enough to know that he won't back down until I give in. I see another fight in the future. I want to know what would happen if I were to leave him right now, given that he is operating 2 of my cars. I also want to say, yes, he has difficulty keeping up with the second payment. I'm constantly nagging him. He almost always has an issue. What should I do?
Ooh. I think drops first, so we can get your mood right. Ooh, James.
That's a lot.
You know, one of the things I often do when I hear
Slide the mic up.
Oh yeah, my bad. Hear dynamics like this.
Mhm.
Is I pay attention to my own body, like my own sensations, what I'm hearing someone articulate like a story to me, and
Triggers. We're talking triggers.
This is
Let it go.
not, this is not really his problem. This is really her problem. Well, one,
It's terrible.
and this is like no condemnation, but yeah, you know, don't sign for a loan for anybody, especially if they're not your spouse. So that's just number one.
Yeah, I was about to ask in the beginning of the letter, did it say that they were married?
I don't
Dating
think they're
3
married.
years.
Yeah, they were
Dating 3
dating.
years, yeah.
Mhm.
They've been together for 3 years.
You let somebody put you in $200,000 worth of debt in 2 years, and you only been dating them for 3 years? Oh no,
And he got cars in her name.
Tesla.
Mhm.
Oh Lord.
Mhm. And he's having trouble with the second car payment.
But once a third.
Mhm.
What is wrong with him?
Because he wants to transport family.
What if Uber?
I was gonna say,
What do we mean?
That's like a
I was
business?
thinking about whose family is it?
Yeah, like what is he?
Their family together or his kids from his other, if
Oh,
he has
Lord.
kids. But let's hold on.
Oh,
Like I said,
Lord.
we can't get into all those dynamics.
Whoa. I'm confused because when we say transport family, he means their family?
It didn't say.
It doesn't
She just said,
specify. Did I
yeah.
miss that?
She just said transport family. He wants a bigger car.
Oh,
It
man.
says 6 months ago he came and asked and said he needed to upgrade and get a bigger car. He wants to transport family. The Tesla was too small.
Oh.
Yes.
Not 13.
13 what?
That's a
13 hard pulls.
Yes.
that's a lot.
Yeah. So the challenge here is boundaries.
Mhm.
And you're absolutely right that if you make that pull those cars back, I know it sounds like she has a fear of he go key the cars or do something.
Right.
But those cars are in your name, so they're your ownership. So if you really just taking back your own stuff, essentially. But it sounds like that fear of like, man, what is he gonna try to manipulate or condemn or do something to try to beat me into making me feel bad because I won't sign on the third vehicle when you've already dropped my credit score 30 points, 13 hard pulls.
Yes.
200. So essentially think about this. And I would tell us like, think about this. You're in $200,000 of debt to a person that's not your spouse.
Right.
Yes.
What does that put you in position when you meet your real homeboy that you probably want to marry and you have to talk about finances and say, well, yeah, I'm still 200 in deep
from previous relationship.
From a previous relationship.
Ouch.
Ouch.
That's a lot. I don't know if anybody, I don't
Ouch.
that's gonna be, I don't know what love got to do with it.
No.
I mean,
yeah, that's
so that and well, I say, you know, the cars are just a symptom, right? Like this probably other dynamics in the relationship that just resemble this. The cars are just a thing that highlighted so very obviously that, hey, he's going to maybe very good-hearted, but can manipulate. Some interesting. You have people. This is why I think people stay. I know that people stay in relationships like these, is because when you know somebody is a butthole, you cut them off very quickly, right?
Quick.
In a hurry. But the people, to some degree, that are good-hearted, they do things for you. They show up in different ways. You feel a little bit of guilt about cutting them off so easily. So you give more rope. They may show up, be good for 3-4 months. That's the thing. What like the longevity of it? It's like they're not bad every day.
Mhm.
It's a cycle.
You
until
just took my pay stub and my social security and got a
Yes.
car
Yes.
that day. But
Yes.
tomorrow you're loving on
and
me.
he was good for
I'm
6
gonna take
months,
you on
right?
a date.
Right.
We'll go to Ruth Chris.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this up. I'm gonna lay it down.
Yes.
And
It's the-
It's gonna
next
be
week,
it's gonna be
It's a
great.
sister that's running, y'all. So he said, "Run, brother." Nah,
right.
No,
the
yeah.
brother is the one that ran up the sister's credit
Yes.
and caused 13 hard
Right. He
pulls.
said, well, I just log back
Yeah,
in.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
the log
Yes.
back in. Yeah,
And our cuz said, "Hey, Mr. Therapy."
Right. Yes.
James Perkins.
James.
James.
That's gonna be your new radio
Right,
name,
Mr.
Mr. Therapy.
Therapy.
Mr.
I
Therapy.
got a name now.
Yes,
Mr.
yes,
Therapy.
you do.
And she
Yes, you
said,
do.
"File a fraud report."
Because how can you did not get my permission? So how do you figure you can just take my stuff and be like, "Oh, I'm going to get a new car in your name," and that person is not there to say yes or no?
Well,
Yeah.
she said that she was on the phone with
She's
the
on the
sales
phone.
with the car salesman, and he apologized for pulling,
Mhm.
for doing that without her permission, but still.
And then you just agreed to it, like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay."
Well, yeah, because I think he's emotionally abusing her.
Yes.
I mean, he's
Mhm.
just he's taking her. He's
Taking advantage of her
taking her advantage of
insecurity.
yes,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
she's got a lot
A
of
lot.
insecurities.
Yeah. Yeah.
she really does.
And from what it sounds like, you're probably a woman who we know you had good credit, probably has a good job,
Mhm.
and might be in a certain level where it's like, okay, well, this is probably the best that I'm going to get as dating wise.
Yeah.
So, you're willing to give him some grace instead of just
Mhm.
saying, I'm just going to be alone in my house with my good credit, my good job, and just
Mhm.
chill.
well, but
Yeah.
that takes a lot.
It
Mhm.
does.
That takes
It
a level of
does.
maturity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
that
I
she's
have
not
I have compassion for her because
Mhm.
what you said, she's probably very diligent
Mhm.
with her finances.
Mhm.
She takes care of her responsibilities. So she's probably the type of woman who is done everything to make sure she's in the best place
Mhm.
for a partner, to earn the right to have a good partner,
Mhm.
right? And when you've been waiting for a long time, as I say, you see probably where she was sensitive towards him sounds like he's a dreamer.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
And that's
Mhm.
probably what got her. It's like,
So
oh,
I
man,
need a
he-
Tesla. I'm like,
he got
damn,
some-
what type of dreams you having?
Right. Like he doing his thing,
We-
right?
Yeah.
Right.
We
Trying to
better-
build. So he
Yeah, I
probably
need you to
gave
have
it
some
a
nightmares, brother.
Well,
99
Yeah.
Camry,
Uh-huh.
used,
Yes.
3,500.
Yeah.
And
You know,
then
So
you
he
gotta
probably gave it a
build.
script of, hey, let's build this empire,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna build it based
Crazy.
off your hard-earned
Mhm.
effort
Mhm.
Wow.
and expertise and your own responsibility, and I'm gonna benefit from it in this present moment. All the time,
Ouch.
effort,
Mhm.
hard
That's
work
a
that is
lot.
went into either maintaining your credit or repairing it and get it to where it's at
Mhm.
now. Like
Mhm.
you did all that work,
All that
and
work.
he
that
can tear
work.
it down in essentially 2.5 years.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, with her being with him being a dreamer, sis, when you saw that he said, "Oh, I want to start a business in transportation," but then he talking about I need a Tesla, that didn't, that
Mhm.
wasn't a red flag that was waving in your face like, because it's not like he said, "I want to go and get a truck." Let's
Logistics. Right. Let's get a
let's start.
contract,
Yes.
start delivering for Lowe's.
Exactly.
Yes.
None of that happened out of his mouth. Is I want a Tesla, nigga, a Tesla. If you don't
Mhm.
get a Nissan
I think
they're
Altima,
not even
she's
married.
being nice in her wording. She meant Uber
oh, that's what
You
you
think
think?
so?
But you can Uber and a Nissan.
because
You can Uber in anything, can't you?
well,
I
and
don't
don't
know.
you get
It's
more
sketchy.
money? Don't you get more money for like Uber Black or something, depending on your
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
car?
do.
I was about to
You
say,
do.
I'll
Now,
take
you
this.
do get more money.
You
for
get
Uber
more money
Black.
depending on which car you have. So
Mhm.
she's trying to make it seem like transportation. Like when mobsters say waste management. You know what I mean? But
Right.
you in the mob.
Okay.
mob.
we're
So
doing
she's
waste
saying
management. Okay.
transportation, but that's Uber because
Mhm.
what person is doing any
He's either doing Uber or Turo or renting out cars.
right renting out
Mhm.
cars like
Mhm.
because what else would it be? You ain't yellow cabin in a Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
So
No,
what does he start? And then it's not like you're asking for a fleet because anybody that may be asking for a fleet to start their own taxi service, you're not going to shoot for a Tesla first. You can
Mm-mm.
get 2-3 cars to
Yeah.
do
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
So she's exaggerating so she don't look silly when he said, I'm an Uber, but let's do it this way
Mm-hmm.
and then get this type of car, which is crazy work.
Insane.
Because then now you're saying I need another car so I can do what more people?
Yeah, so he can transport
Mhm.
family. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That
With
part is
family.
crazy. Who
Yeah.
are we? Why are we transporting? Why don't family have their own
Yes.
car?
Yeah.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
But it did say
Why
he's
is it?
divorced, so it may be his children from a previous
He's
relationship.
divorced.
Because he said that his
Mm.
divorce ruined his credit.
Yeah, that's that.
Well, clearly y'all don't have great spending habits
Mhm.
collectively.
Well,
Yeah.
And if you're transporting them and any kids, then we need to talk about downgrading that Tesla.
Mm-hmm. I would look. Well, one, I would verify that. But number two, it's not your responsibility to repair his credit,
Right.
even after divorce, even if you're dating. I don't like. I understand that. I'm really sorry that happened to you.
Mhm.
How can I support you other than
Right.
giving my credit up for
Right.
you? And we're not That's my thing. It's like
We're not
spouses.
married.
They're not married. That's what I said. They're not
Yes.
married.
So especially
In only
so when-
3 years?
That's a different
People
level
be
of
shooting for the
commitment.
moon. Like 3 years
Well,
and you already
remember,
getting Teslas?
They've been together for 3 years, but she said after 6 months he got the Tesla.
Yeah.
How?
And when you give a brother
How?
like this who's been divorced, that
Oh, he's
type
going
of
for it.
access,
He's going for
it
it.
tells him, oh, I've hit bank.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bet. He driving around rolling blunts and
And
that.
he saw your pay stub.
He done
You
told
would have never seen that.
he done told the
information.
homies like
Never.
jackpot.
Never.
You're like,
And we're dating?
Dating.
6 months, you got a
This is why I
Tesla,
don't
my
date.
guy?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
why we don't. That's why I don't date.
So
I
because this
told
is
you.
brothers, please do not
Told you.
y'all do not send any hate mail to CDS Radio.
That's why I don't fuck with these niggas.
Right.
That's why I don't
Look.
fuck with these Negroes.
Wait, no, we
So
we
thi-
had
and
that
this-
conversation.
This is the thing, right?
Mhm.
The see, years ago, y'all don't send me no hate mail either.
No, don't send us no
Brothers,
hate
I love
mail.
y'all, but I'm gonna just I have to tell the truth.
Yeah.
I'm a man of God. Just gotta be honest with
Mhm.
myself. Years ago, right? There was the dynamic with men is they can show up and treat you any way they want to treat you,
Mm-hmm.
and women would accept that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that women, give it up to our sisters, are becoming emotionally healthy,
Mm-hmm.
they're becoming more astute, they ain't putting up with a lot of BS.
And then
Mhm.
So the brothers have to switch their game. So now what they're doing is instead of being a jerk, being a butthole, being not communicating, their new tactic is I'm going to lead with vulnerability. Still the same cheesy Negro underneath,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna lead with vulnerability. I'm going to open myself up and say, yeah, man, it's been hard.
Mm.
Man. Share their emotions and feelings. You think, oh man, I've hit the jackpot. He's sharing his feelings. I ain't never had a Negro share his feelings
Mm.
this much with me.
I hope a lot of sisters ain't watching today because now they're gonna be chin scratching like he did tell me he needed a kidney. Ain't this
Mhm.
something?
Did tell me he needed a kidney.
said
he was nice.
He said he
Yes.
was.
And he yeah.
He said
He
he,
even
was a
cried in front of me.
He was a diabetic, and everybody died
no.
from diabetes in his family.
He's showing
Yeah.
he's showing up, sharing all his relationship history,
Mhm.
where he messed up, how he messed
yeah.
up. He's
Lord.
taking accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Man, and she ruined my credit. Can you help me get this?
If I could just get this
this
Tesla to get on my
Yeah.
feet.
feet, man, we can really. It can really change the
Hey
game
man,
for me.
I know I
Sure
keep saying
could.
Tesla, but a Tesla?
A
Like
Tesla.
you didn't say let me just get a ride. You
Mhm.
said let me get top of the line.
Top of the line.
And she did. She
I
committed
was
to
saying,
that.
and she said yes.
She said yes to that.
He said,
But
look,
I think,
we ain't
yeah.
even gonna be spending money on gas, baby. It's electric. And she was like,
Mhm.
you got a point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you know, I don't. You know, 'cause you don't know. You don't know
Lord.
because apparently she's being vulnerable too,
Mm-hmm.
and she's sharing, and she's I'm
What
sorry.
was her
I
final
can't
question?
go for having a piece of a man. I mean, I just can't. I can't.
I
can't
just
do
rather,
it.
yeah, I
And
just
I know
rather
from
not.
an-
I just
No.
rather
I
not.
can't do it.
I say the
I'd
same.
rather not.
This-
Yeah.
Just say no.
Just-
I mean,
That's
be sympathetic
Yeah.
and empathetic.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Get
You know?
yourself together, baby. And once you do,
I
you
know.
you
I'd be
come
like,
possibly come back
Mhm.
around. But get yourself together.
I'm so sorry to hear
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Wow, that must
I'm
be
going to
hard.
encourage you. I'm going to affirm
Yes.
Yeah.
You
I
got
can-
this.
you. I can help
You
you find
got
a
it.
credit repair service.
Yes.
I may can help you pay for that.
Yes.
yeah. Let's start that path.
So
Yes.
nice. I'll be like,
Mhm.
here's their number.
Right.
They take Affirm.
Affirm.
Yes. Yes.
Split your payment.
Right,
6
yes.
months, right? crap, but they gonna check your credit score. So
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
they
a
do.
good
They
option.
do. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
Just do Credit
Yeah.
Karma. It's free.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, but they be lying to you. They're like, your credit is great. You be like, I got a 500.
But no, just because you can go, they give you the numbers and stuff to all the credit
Oh, yeah.
bureaus. You just
Yes,
call them on your
true.
own and get your
Yeah.
own credit score.
Mhm.
So if you want to learn how to do that, hit me up because I used to work for Fidelity Mortgage. I can tell you how to get your credit right.
Can you get rid of student loans?
Government is different.
Yeah.
Child support, school loans.
Yeah.
Totally
Mm-mm.
different thing.
Yeah, that's
Completely different.
that is written on your credit
Yeah.
as a debt, and it's at the top. Then so nah, but other things you can get them off,
Yeah, but not for the car.
like that
you
gym
know?
membership that you just can't get off. You can do that.
Mhm.
Oh,
You know.
mine is, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, if I
So-
could get rid of student loans,
I,
Nah,
I
you can't
believe that the
I
young
thought
lady.
I thought they were coming after me last year, but they had switched loan services. I think they went to Nelnet or something.
Yes!
I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what in the world? I started getting these emails. I'm like, y'all playing games out here.
I'm telling you.
Nelnet got me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, those student
Uh,
loan
I'm like,
people.
who's this
That's no
Nelnet?
joke.
What was
So
her final question?
final question is, I want to know what would happen if I were to leave him right now, given that he is operating my 2 cars.
Well, they're your cars. So first of all,
Yes.
by law,
Mhm.
they go with you.
Mhm.
He can't take those because your name is on them, and he's not like she didn't co-sign. She actually purchased those cars.
And
So
they're in her name.
those are her cars in her
Yes.
name. So now the question is, can you maintain the payment of those 2 cars
Ooh.
by yourself?
Mhm.
Because if you cannot, then you're gonna have to talk about what you can do as far as getting rid of those.
Mm.
And the Tesla, the sad part about them is they lose value as soon as they're pulled off the lot. Like,
And I hope she's not going to be in a negative equity situation.
right,
with both of
it's
those.
definitely going to be that way. Like, and now your debt to income ratio is shot
Mm.
because
You're
you,
gonna have to.
yeah,
You're
you
gonna have
got
to
2
leave him.
cars on your debt to income ratio is
Mhm.
done because now you don't have another income.
Mhm.
That's all
Mhm.
just you because, like we're saying here, you're not married.
Mhm.
So anything that you may need your credit for is going to be solely based upon your debt to income ratio. But now they're going to see you got these 2 massive car payments here
Mhm.
Mhm.
on top of where you may live if you own your home.
Mm.
I know.
Those 3 right there are going to take you out.
I know. Bless her heart.
Girl.
So, ouch.
Mhm.
I would say get your vehicles back though,
Mhm.
and then now you're gonna have to figure out what you can do with the creditors. I don't know how long it's the Tesla's already out because that was 6 months into the relationship.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Maybe with the new one, I don't know how new. Did she say how new the new one is?
Well, the last one, she said he's bugging her, right?
Yeah, he's trying to get
So
her.
That's the third one.
Mhm.
So they're technically on the second, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Whew.
Technically on the second.
And he was trying to get a third.
Lord, have
Yeah.
mercy.
So
No.
what this tells me is she has a job that pays her well. Whatever industry she's in,
Mhm.
Mhm.
she's working for to have that
With
to
A1
justify-
credit.
With A1
Mhm.
credit, she's sensible.
Because you're right, because they gave you a Tesla and then you were able to get another car
And possibly a third.
and possibly a third.
Mhm.
So wherever, unless he's dealing with some shady car places like the car dealerships, but for the most part, that Tesla is going to be 100,000 plus.
Mhm.
Then your second car, 9 times out of 10, because it's going to be, he said it's bigger, right?
Well, yeah, he
Mhm.
seems to be wanting to upgrade.
So that's another 100,000 because she
Lord
said
knows
she's
what the third-
$200,000 in
Mhm.
debt.
I said,
Mhm.
Lord knows what
So
the third
you were
one's gonna
able to incur $200,000 of debt on top of what you already have yourself. So, like
Mhm.
you said, she's doing well.
Yeah.
be. Yeah, she's doing quite
I
well.
s- yeah. Look, I
Mhm.
tell women like this: the same level of discretion that you use in all your other affairs,
Mhm.
I apply that same level of discretion here.
Mhm.
Is when emotions sometimes get involved, your decision making gets compromised.
Yeah.
But do what you would do if you were. Obviously, you manage your finances well. Whatever financial decision you would make, in that sense, make that. And this may be your invitation to start a business for yourself.
Hello.
Yes.
Find out what his business
Because
model
you've got-
is.
yes,
Mhm.
because
Take it
And
from the
take it.
board,
Then
kick him
you've
to the
got several
side.
Take
Cars.
it. Yeah, because you
You-
got the cars.
you've got several cars.
Mhm.
I said yes.
Several.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
because she's driving something, I'm sure.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
then you got the car that you're
And then
driving.
how do you figure I got 1 car, you need 3?
Mhm.
Well,
Insane.
she's got to make it make sense. I
Mhm.
mean, take them.
That's what
I mean,
say.
that's a
Take 'em.
simple,
Mm.
Take
that's a
him, and he got to go.
It's simple.
and
but,
we'll sit down and figure this out.
that's a very simplistic way of putting it because it's obviously quite complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have found that when emotions are in it, woo,
And
Because she's
especially
not
if y'all
driving a
sleeping
Nissan
together.
Maxima.
Right.
If he has a Tesla, she's driving a luxury car,
yeah.
Mhm.
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 most likely. It's just
Mhm.
conjecture. But,
You know, when you start having emotions put in stuff,
Lord have mercy.
emotions make you go. Emotions make you do some stuff.
yes, they will.
Emotions make you, do drive-bys. I mean, people's houses. Emotion is a lot. I mean, really.
Mm.
What?
Bust the windows out your car.
Yes.
That's how you get. Yeah, that's how you get missing tires and
Yeah.
I
Gasoline thrown in the seats.
Yes.
Blowing up.
Thank you. Shit in the gas tank. I mean,
Mhm.
that's how emotions.
Mhm.
You have to be able to control them.
Yeah.
Bad puppets.
Yeah. And if he don't have much to bring, he's probably doing very well in the bedroom. So that's probably messing with your head too,
Yeah,
baby.
but okay.
Go ahead and
I don't know
separate
if I
those
can
two.
say. I don't know if I can say this on radio now, but
It's
I
adult
was always-
radio.
You can
I
say
was
it.
always taught though, Kelly used to hate when I said, "They come a dime a dozen and
And it
13 on
does.
Sunday."
It
I mean, you can
does.
get that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
really,
Mhm.
and good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean that you need to keep it.
Mm-mm.
You don't need to keep it
No.
because
You ain't got to convince me. We got to convince her, Miss V.
yeah, you can get some excellent.
Yes.
And it
And you
won't.
don't have to keep
And it
it.
won't cost you a Tesla.
No,
Oh, gosh.
no.
And whatever other car he
No.
got.
They catch your
Yes.
attention.
Yeah, it's not going to get you
No, no, no,
$200,000
It's not
worth
a
of debt.
penalty.
Mm-mm.
It's not a
Sheesh.
penalty.
Mm-mm. So, baby, get your cars and leave this man alone.
Yes.
Leave him alone, please.
Honey, please.
Because you got a lot of problems to deal with right now.
We
A
rooting
lot.
for you too.
Yeah.
We
Nothing but
are
love.
definitely
Rooting for
rooting
you,
for
girl. You
you.
do this.
Yeah.
Report them stolen.
Mhm.
Right?
Look,
Goodness.
Because your
before you
name
make
is the
any
only name
decision,
on
though,
it.
No.
figure out his business model. Start asking
Yes.
him questions.
Right.
Yes.
So how do you do this?
What do you
Yeah.
say?
Okay.
Become
Oh.
calculated.
Game said, whoa, Auntie, drive-bys and sugar in the tank is diabolical.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. That shows y'all how old I am. Because that's what that used
That's
to
what
be
happens.
the signature
Yeah,
name.
that's what
Mhm.
happens.
And it
Back
still
in the day.
happens. It
She only
still
knows this
happens.
by research. not by
That's
practice.
right.
By
Yes,
research.
absolutely. Anybody know me?
I know
Yeah.
that's
No.
right. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I can become incredibly detached,
Mhm.
emotionally.
good.
When you talk about my money,
Mhm.
you can be a fool, but don't be a damn fool.
Money.
Mhm.
Yeah, keep trying to tell y'all, money changes. Like
Money,
you said,
yes.
no, hold up. $20,000 worth of debt. The
Yes.
money ain't adding up.
Mhm.
No.
No,
Like,
it doesn't
no.
make sense
It
to
doesn't.
me.
This no longer making any
It makes no sense
20
to me.
grand. And then when you had to get on the phone to make something happen that wasn't supposed to happen was also a flag of this shouldn't be happening. Like you were on the phone for hours to try to get this car when it should have just been like, no.
No.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no.
is a complete sentence.
Yeah, no. We're not doing
No,
this.
we're not doing
Yeah.
this because please. Yeah, what's that?
So
What
then
you
now
talking about?
from this, what type of triggers
Oh God,
does
yes.
this young lady end up
Mhm.
possibly with now moving? Because let's say she gets her car, now there's going to be triggers here, right?
Especially going into the next relationship.
And we're going to have to get her
Well.
balanced.
I was gonna say I don't know if she's gonna. Yeah, she probably won't have a next relationship for a while.
Mhm.
I mean, because this one is going to take some work to
It's
get
gonna take
out
her
of and recover
It's going
from.
to take her
Mhm.
out.
I think that's fair.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Mhm.
That's a hard.
Tesla's gonna be like you said. The Tesla's in the driveway when you walk out. I'll give you a reminder.
Yeah.
Every time
Why
you
did
see
I
that
do that?
Tesla,
Every time she sees him, he's probably a trigger.
oh
Mhm.
Lord,
Mhm.
I mean, for her emotional health,
I can't stand.
because she
Joe
said
Black.
that he is going to continue to bother her
Mhm.
until he gets the
Mhm.
third car.
Mhm.
And then there will be a fourth, and there'll be something
Yeah,
else.
no, baby.
He's seen what you make. He's seen your
No.
credit. He's about to run it up, and that has shown you also what happened in his last relationship, where he's like,
Yes.
"Oh, the divorce ruined my credit." No, you ruined your credit.
Yeah.
No.
So to answer her question very
Mhm.
directly is, it sounds like she already has some level of fear about what he may do if she
Mhm.
makes this decision.
Mhm.
So I want you to ask yourself, like, what am I really afraid of? Like, what do I think he's going to do?
Mhm.
Because there's probably some anxiety around that. That's where the CBD can help to help level you out, to help you
So
think
you can think
sensibly.
clearly.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
because you got to make decisions.
Yep.
Moves must be made. My mom used to say that
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
You ain't got time for crying and whining because moves
Fix your
must be
face.
made.
Yes.
Yeah. Fix your face. Because
And
moves have to be made.
they have.
They do.
They do.
Moves
Talk
have
us
to be
about it,
made.
James.
So
Turn
just,
around.
I want to let her know.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
to me.
I want you to prepare yourself
Mhm.
for the abandonment, because that's essentially what you're getting to.
Mhm.
Is yes, he is going to abandon. He's either going to abandon you, or he's going to make you feel bad while he is leaving.
Mhm.
The
Real
guilt, the
bad.
guilt trip.
Mhm.
And that's what you're not going to be able to. What she sounds like she's not going to be able to handle is the abandonment of him leaving.
Mhm.
And then what's going to exacerbate that is that, man, you left me, and you left me with debt.
Mhm.
Like, you can leave me with some emotional debt.
Mhm.
I can get through that because that's not on paper.
But these
Right.
people are calling me
But
about
you
this
li-
payment.
You leave me with that,
Yeah.
and then I get a call
Mhm.
next Tuesday. Ma'am, yes,
This
and you having to
bill.
make payment arrangements.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all the stuff you feel like, man, I got enough
Yes.
emotional capacity for all that.
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
So you gotta take your gummies. You
Yeah.
need to put your order into Miss V before you
Mhm.
have this conversation with
Thank
him.
thee.
Hello.
Thank you, James.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's the
Mhm.
that's the game
Yes,
plan.
sir.
It is the game plan.
TheHealingConsultant.com.
Yes, sir.
What you do?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Healingconsultant.com.
Mhm.
Y'all follow me?
Hello.
Yes.
And for breakups, just in general, like
Oh, God.
ideally, the clarity
Emotional.
that you need, like you said, because emotions, they're firing at different angles and different times and different ways,
Yes.
Mhm.
and you're not centered enough to be able to make conscious, clear decisions for your future. Because moves,
Yeah.
you do have to. You can't. She can't sit still because the
Well, she's operating out of with a deficit.
Mhm.
But she really is. She's
Mhm.
operating out of a deficit.
Mhm.
And I've always come to find out that trying to make decisions when you're anchored in emotional distress,
Mhm.
they just don't come out well.
Mhm. Mhm.
They just don't come out well.
Mhm.
And you have to give yourself a fighting chance
Right.
to
Right.
make some
Mhm.
some rational decisions.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
and for a certain part, devoid of the emotional
Mhm.
attachment and stress
Right.
that you're in.
Yeah.
Because those are hard decisions.
So when you have, this is for both of you guys, when you have someone who, let's say in this situation, let's say it wasn't necessarily debt, but it was just if the relationship's getting spoiled and somebody has to go. And now we're saying like,
Mhm.
okay, for him, this is my house. You have to go.
Mhm.
But you've never set like a boundary to be that stern person. Like you said, you're staring
Yeah.
down the barrel of a hard decision,
Right.
but then it leaves you in like this emotional paralysis where you can't make the decision that you know you need to make.
Mhm.
And you're working from a deficit. How do you propose you get out of that deficit just to get the baseline? You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like we just got to get the baseline so I could think about the next move
Mhm.
versus moving and not even having clarity. So how do
Mhm.
we get out of the deficit to just get to a baseline?
Yeah. Go ahead. You go
No, I was
first.
going to say that, stress hormones
Mhm.
are huge. And it
Mhm.
sounds like that she has been up under the stress of huge catecholamines. And I suspect that she's depleted because it's been going on for a while.
Mhm.
So it's not, that takes a toll on you.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been preaching about, you have to try to get yourself to a balanced level
Mhm.
so that when things are coming at you, you can make some rational decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, y'all hear me talk about it all the time.
Mhm.
Every time I'm in this chair, we don't talk about it. However, James over here is another professional, mental health, y'all, because we're talking about that. That can go about it, can explain it to you differently than I do, because you all got to. It's not just mental, but it's like it's physical too.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
a depletion. So, James, talk to us about that, sir.
Yes. I'm actually connect both using her as an example. So one of two of the major signs for when you're under in any level of emotional distress is either people on the side of people pleasing, on the other side of perfectionism. So the people pleasers, what they will do is, because they have a compulsive need to be validated, to be admired, or to not upset people or let people down, they will abandon their own needs for the sake of pleasing the other person. So her needs, you said 3 years, right? So you should have obviously your own need to have the ability to manage your own finances, right? To be able to steward them as well as you can. You have a need for accountability and for trust. In this situation, this brother has compromised your trust, compromised your credit, has in a lot of ways sounds like he's manipulated to even to make you give him the access, not by a willful, hey, let me do this for you, but more of a coercion and manipulation. So you've abandoned your own needs in order to stay connected in the relationship. Because essentially, if I don't give him access to help him get his business off the ground,
then what about him? And she's not asking what about her.
Yes. Because I like the way she said, I won't say I like the way she said, but essentially, hey, I'm going to be a bad person if I don't give him my Social Security to help him get his business off the ground. I'm going to be like his ex-wife who ain't support him probably, and his credit got ruined. So I'm going to be the bad person here. So hand it over, but ouch. 2-3 times.
Right.
Ouch. And then you have the people on the other side, like the perfectionists, like they would have never given up their credit report. I mean, their Social Security.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking to you.
She almost choked on water.
Right.
She said, hell no.
Yes.
Yosemite Sam came out. You darn tootin'.
Right. Look, so the perfectionists, they have very high standards, oftentimes because their fears of being defective, of being good. So they don't like to be exposed as being incompetent, not thinking well. So they would never do something like this. People please, on the other hand, because they value the connection of the relationship, they will give that over to stay connected to you.
Crazy.
All right?
And she's not even thinking of her financial future, because literally for the future of your finance, this makes absolutely no sense.
None.
On any level.
She's not.
None.
And so the people pleasing is most likely pervasive. It's just not in this relationship. It's probably in other aspects. And like I said, people pleasing, it can be very comprehensive. But it can be exacerbated in romantic relationships because you feel like there are certain needs that you want to get met from this person rather than from other people. So like you may people please to accommodate your parents, even if you're adult, but you're not going to do so much where you like, you're giving up your Social Security number. But for a romantic relationship, because there are things that you can get from a romantic relationship that you can't get from your parents. Right. So absolutely. I think I can go a little bit further.
And cloudy that judgment.
Right? So those two signs, perfectionism, people pleasing, you're constantly emotionally dysregulated. I think this is where the CBD comes in, because a part of the receptors that CBD helps out with is connected to, we call it the ECS system in our brain, which deals with the hormones that actually help with mood regulation. It is a system that controls our flight or fight response, or fawn, if you will, which is related to when we are in a situation, something that triggers us, we get emotionally dysregulated. It's the same part of our system that happens when we're traumatized. So CBD, what it does is it gives you essentially more bandwidth. It's like I use the metaphor, it's like it gives you stronger brake pads. If you've ever driven a vehicle, now it's probably gonna hit home for a lot of people. If you've ever been driving a vehicle for a long time, you notice that when your brake pads start to wear down, what starts to happen? What do you start to hear?
Squeaks,
right? And then if you keep using them, what eventually happens?
You get to the rotors, baby.
You starts grinding. Right?
So
what that means, is that you have to put your foot on the brake maybe twice, 3 times as much time as you would if your brakes were fresh.
Sometimes to the flow. private speech. Not that I
Oh man, that's real talk.
know. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So-
Preach. Go ahead.
So what
I've
CBD
been telling
does,
the same thing.
right?
Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
CBD essentially helps you strengthen your brake pad so that you don't have, you can press on the brakes, giving you the ability to make a more conscious, deliberate decision on how am I going to respond to this. When you're emotionally dysregulated, I think I talked about this last time, your executive function goes offline, or with prefrontal cortex, executive function is that part of the brain that helps us decide, like
have decision making capacity, so you can filter things. So when they come to you, you can make logical decisions.
So homegirl right here, okay. All right, yeah, he said his credit got ruined due to divorce. I understand that. I'm sympathetic towards that. He is asking me for a Tesla. It's $100,000. Why not a Camry? Why not a Prius? Electric car. It's an electric car, or some hybrid.
How about
You're so wonderful.
Yes.
Because see, I would have given
Ultima.
options.
Oh, yeah.
I would have just been like, no.
I'm just deducing in your head. It's like I'm asking,
Yeah, you're so
why
sweet.
a Tesla?
Yeah.
So I'm asking, is there a reason that it needs to be a Tesla? So I want to see what his answer is. Like,
okay.
This is when all your when it's all online, you're thinking deliberately, like, well, I'm going to ask him some questions. I'm not going to shut him down. I just want to.
Inquisitive.
I'm going to be curious.
Because he's piqued your interest.
Right. I was like,
He's piqued your
okay.
interest now. Yeah.
Well, what was your credit score before you got married the first time? Like, this is things I'm thinking about. Like, okay. But when that prefrontal cortex, that executive function goes offline, when you're under emotional distress, you're not thinking pragmatically.
You know what? You are 1,000% correct, because we did skip over the fact that she could have pulled his credit and they could have sat down together and had a conversation about, okay, I'll help you with a car, but it ain't gonna be that one. I can listen to what you have to say and say, okay, I can support this, but I don't have to support you in $100,000.
Yes.
But I think he blindsided her. I don't think there was a discussion. I think he blindsided her.
Hurry up and make a
into,
decision.
Yeah, and pressured her into it. What, 6 months into the relationship?
Yeah.
That's
And then of course he was
Mhm.
talking about the whole
Blindsided her.
transportation. I want to start a business. So she
Yeah.
was falling in love with the potential of like, oh, this guy's
Yeah,
great.
he probably groomed her.
Crazy.
Like, hey,
Oh,
man, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I need to get this business started.
Yeah.
Right. Ain't
And-
seen nothing in their business plan. We ain't got no history of you doing anything business related. What is your job, sir? Like
Tesla, bro. I can't get it
I
out of my
can't-
mind.
no.
I want to start
Tesla?
a business. I need $100,000 to get this Tesla.
Yeah.
right. Do you know how happy I was when I bought my Camry? I was like, I made it.
Yes.
How do you get? I mean, because how does that come? I mean, that is interesting in and of
Yes.
itself.
Yeah.
And I'll give her the benefit of the doubt here. A part of this is money is probably really not nothing to her. I won't say
Must be
this.
nice.
This is
Yeah.
right.
That's what you're saying.
This is how a little bit
Mhm.
hyperbole here. What I'm embellishing
Yeah.
is money to her may not be nothing as long as she gets love.
Mhm.
And you have people like they don't care about the money.
Yeah.
Yes.
As long as I get the love and affection, I'll do anything.
Absolutely.
I will do
Totally.
anything.
And like you said, she's
Yes.
working from a
That-
deficit.
She is. She is.
Yeah.
Well, and that's because that's a real thing. Because
Mhm.
people are out here looking for it.
Yeah, they are.
They're searching high and low.
Yes, there are young, I'm not even gonna say young. There are people crying on TikTok because they are so desperate for intimacy and connection.
Yes.
So very easily, like you said, I could see how this could happen because
Yeah.
it's just like I've been at the top of my game. I've worked hard. I make good money. I've done all the right
Yes.
things. But in love, I haven't done or I haven't been as lucky. So here comes this guy. He's sweet talking me. He's telling me all the right things. You don't see any proof whatsoever.
Yeah, but that's just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Intimacy has different levels.
He may dress well,
Yes.
Smell good.
smell
Yeah.
good.
Ain't no
He-
telling, like I said, what he did in the bedroom. She's in love.
Representative. He
I
sent
can't
that
speak on that, but
representative. He sent the representative.
Yes,
Mhm.
right.
He did. We talked about that.
And
Yeah.
now you ruined your life.
Mhm.
Yeah. He
So-
said all the right things.
And so I
All
think
right things.
the biggest thing that you said today, and I think a lot of us operate from it, is being in that spot of depletion.
Absolutely.
Like being depleted and trying to operate and function in a relationship clearly is going to cloud judgment because you're, like you said, you're now in pleaser mode because you're already not happy with you.
Yeah.
And so like when we're talking about the CBD and you say it all the time, we're just trying to get you to a point where you can think clearly enough to make a logical decision, a rational decision without being clouded in your mind by, you know, THC and just going too far.
I don't do that.
Right. Right.
Yeah. We know that. Yes.
Mhm.
My products, we don't do that with.
Mhm.
And all of these, as we say, federally regulated. Yes, Jesus. Because they will hound you.
Right.
Yes. And all of them, as I say it ad nauseum, I know. With every purchase, with every bottle, there's a QR code on there. You know exactly
What's
what
in
you
here.
got. You know exactly what's going on. There's no doubt. There is no doubt in your mind.
Yeah.
And you know, I would say, you know, vegan friendly, non-GMO, you know, organically grown. I just can't say enough about my own.
I know that's
As
right.
you-
It's just
as you
fabulous.
should.
That's right.
It's
So,
fabulous.
When we were at Dream City and Tasha was asking about, you know, your products and how you would suggest packaging and membership and putting things together for this young lady, with her seeing the deficit that she's in, let's say she sat with you and described this whole situation, what package of product would you put with her to start out to get her to zero level?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, with her, because of the quick onset, I honestly would start trying to suggest drops, because as we talked about, drops can go in anything.
Correct.
Whether you're drinking coffee, whether you're drinking tea. I don't suggest you drink it with alcohol, but you do it? Yes, you can. But we got 2 mood altering things, and well, we're not gonna go into that anyway. But you can start there, because you can also use the gummies, you know, for longer acting. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to bring yourself up to a level, into a balance. And if you're trying to do it quickly, honestly, you need to do drops first for at least 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
Because you're trying to get to a therapeutic dose, so that when things are coming at you, because you know what she can say was, oh, okay, shit, okay, too much, you know. So what I would tell her to do is start there, because she's got work, and she's coming to us. I'm not going to say frantic, but he has pushed a lot of buttons.
Correct.
And he, as you say, he's got the foot. He's got metal, you know, he's on her neck. I mean, and she's just trying to swim.
Right.
She's trying to get up out from under that. And she can't do that if she's working in an area for which she's depleted. So I would say do that first.
So with you saying that,
then we got to come back.
I was going to say, because this ain't a one-trip deal now.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
That's what I was about to say.
She needs a level.
Okay.
She needs to operate with a balance.
Yes.
And she needs to talk to somebody too. And so, you know, first of all, we got to chemically bring her up to a level that she can at least have things coming at her and she's okay.
Okay.
You know, they're coming at her. She knows it. But at least she can bring that stress level down.
Right.
She can just bring it down just a little bit.
Right.
You know, bring it down and build it up.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do. So that's the first thing I would suggest that she does.
Okay.
Because we're talking about an imbalance. We got to work on that first. So no, it's not just a one and done.
So once we bring her up and we can get that, like one thing you said, for things to start flowing in her system and feeling comfortable is 24 to 48 hours.
Absolutely.
So then now during this time, how do we boundary set? Because I can't keep adding on while I'm trying to level out. So then how do I balance what I'm really going through? Like, okay, now I talked to Auntie V, I got my drops. Now, how do I start to begin these boundaries that weren't set?
Yeah.
Because that's a process.
That's a huge process. I mean, it's not going to be a one-day thing. But this will be great to add in conjunction with, you know, guided meditations to help give you some ability to ground. There's a great resource. I got to thinking of it. for some journal prompts, and I have some boundary worksheets that really help you to start to clarify your own boundaries. Because for most people, excuse me, are operating, just the pace of our society at a level of what we would define as overwhelm. So Carol Gomes, she has this definition for overwhelm. And she says that overwhelm is when you feel like your life is unfolding faster than your central nervous system has time to process it. So if you think about your life, and if you think about the definition I just said, that your life is unfolding faster than your central nervous system has time to process it, most people say, according to that definition, I may be operating at 60, 75% of overwhelm on a daily basis.
Every day.
Right? So no judgment with her, because there are probably a lot more people that are, because they're in a constant state of overwhelm, just not because of romantic relationships, but just different things, their strain levels they're navigating.
Life.
It's compromised their ability to really see things clearly and make, and it's unfortunate because it's like the most critical decisions that you have to make, you don't always have the emotional bandwidth and mental clarity to make them.
Absolutely.
And then it starts a cycle because now you make the decision that you have to live with, and you like, and you're trying to get more bandwidth to really show up. But the last decision that you make kind of puts you in a predicament where you're tied into some situationship or some level of distress interpersonally, or you got stuff going on with your job. You're trying to figure out how to show up for your kids. They stressed and mad at you saying you ain't showing up, or I'm mad and kids are born narcissists. So
they are.
So you're navigating all that,
Right.
and then you have to make
They will. They'll say
relationship
goodbye.
choices
Right.
for romantic. So I can only imagine she like, man, this is my relief. So I'm gonna do anything to keep this man happy because everything else is like causing me overwhelmed. But him, at least I get some out of it. I may give him $100,000, but at least it helps them.
But she's getting something.
She's getting
Or
something.
at least she perceives she's getting something. Or else she wouldn't continue.
Right. And see, that's why I was asking the question, because now that I've talked to you and I got my drops, but now things are on me like this, and I got to start pushing back.
Yes, you do.
I got to push
You do.
back, and how do I do it? That's why I was
Yes.
at, because now, okay, Mom, I'm clear. Now, where the hell do I start? You know what I mean? Like, because I know there has to be a moment, and Auntie V, you can talk about it, to where now once I'm balanced, I'm looking at this like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
because I always said, it takes a village. And that because it's not just a one, it's not a one trick pony. I mean, it's you need a whole corral in order to get through this thing called life. Oh, Prince. Okay. But in order to get through this thing called life. And that is where, I've been very honest. I have my own therapist because you have to. I journal, I meditate, I drink my tea, because it's everything. And that's where James comes in. That's where James comes in.
I give people that simple worksheet, something that she could probably do, anybody can do tonight, is a cost benefit analysis. Is I want you to sit down, and just using her example, is I want you to put down, because to your point, there are always some level of benefits that we get when we are operating in dysfunctional behavior, or else when we continue it.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So you have to put down, okay, what's the benefits that I'm getting from this relationship with this dude? Put that on the right side of the sheet. Left side, I want you to put down everything that you feel it's costing you in order to do those things.
For you older people, it's a pro and con.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Cost of benefit make it sound like I'm losing something.
Yes.
It's costing me
It's
something.
costing you something. But for those of us that are just a tad bit older, it's a pro and con list.
Pro and cons, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And but yeah,
We
you
call
take
it
that
journaling if you want
worksheet.
to.
Yeah, look, you take that worksheet and that list. You look on the left side of that list, and I want you to identify, circle, what are the 3 top things that are the most critical for you, not critical for you, that you feel like this is costing me too much. Once you have that sheet, is where I said it's where we come in. You need to find your therapist to say, hey, you know what? I'm in this relationship. These are the benefits I'm getting from them, and I'm realizing, but this is what it's costing me.
Mm-hmm.
How can I assess if this cost is worth paying?
That's right.
Because sometimes the cost is worth paying if you can repair with the person.
Yes.
Sometimes it's not worth because the cost of repairing may take you so long because the person already lacks self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
They're untrustworthy. They're not safe, period.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So you can't repair something with someone that's unsafe, period.
Yes.
It's like you just need to move up the road, find someone that's
Yes.
safe. Because she really probably gave him too much before he even
has.
earned the right to do the type of things that she gave him.
Because I think she had personally. I think she has given up too much. Because I think that when people are a detriment to your own self, because in a way he is. I mean, she's got a lot of work ahead of her.
And the reality is,
compromised
we don't always realize how much an impact a person is having on us until we've actually left. That's when people really start to realize, oh, this person took from me more than I realized.
Yeah.
And that's when they get really pissed.
Oh yeah.
Now you
That's
start
when you're trying to put
assessing.
sugar in the tank.
You got to assess the damage.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you were
Yeah.
saying. Going back now, oh man, Monday morning you go out and see that Tesla or see his face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because that's where I think, like you guys are saying, you guys are just putting it a lot more eloquent than I would say. When I wake up in the morning, I'm looking at this mess like shit. Like I done took my drops.
Yes.
I'm clear. And now I'm like, what the
yeah.
hell did I do?
Yeah.
And now I got to get out of this. And then, like you said, I'm looking at him and his cars and all this. And how do I keep myself from being overwhelmed? Because now that I'm clear, I might be overwhelmed because I really wasn't seeing it from this lens. And now I'm like,
it's just a different lens. It doesn't mean that the intensity of the lens has gotten any worse. You're just looking at the situation differently. It doesn't mean that it's become more concentrated or you're at a bigger power.
Right. Yeah.
You're not.
Right.
It's the same.
It's the same.
It's the same strength. It hadn't changed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't. It hasn't changed. You're just seeing it clearer now.
Yeah.
And I think that if anything, I think that you're able to at least start looking at options because it doesn't look like before. Because I think she feels trapped.
Yeah.
And a lot of people feel trapped.
Yeah.
And you got to give yourself options. So you got to be able to get yourself to a place where you can actually see the options.
Right. Because right now she doesn't see anything.
She doesn't see any options.
Yeah, she doesn't see anything.
She feels pressured.
Right. Because she's asking about cars that actually belong to her.
Yeah.
About how do I get them back? They're your cars.
And that's why I was saying the fact that she's asking the question tells me that there's some underlying fear potentially around even how he shows up that she may be concerned about. Because if he's not that type of person where you're like, man, you're gonna really push him to the limit, you can have a conversation like, hey, this relationship is over, get my cars back. And be like, he may say something, but he gonna leave.
Right.
But it sounds like the type of person that she fears she is, where he's intimidating her. She has some kind of concern that he might escalate things.
Right.
So how do I get out this situation without it being escalated into some type of situation where it's gonna cause more damage, more distress, more drama, potentially police being involved.
Yes. And she has to think this out logically. She has to feel that she's got options.
Right.
And you can't feel that way until you can think clearly. Until you can recognize that, okay, I need help with this.
Yes.
The very practical thing is, before you decide to have that conversation, it's something very very simple to think about. Make sure you have the keys to both of the vehicles.
Yes.
Before you have the conversation.
Yes.
Because now you can honestly, because if you've gotten to a place that you're balanced enough and you can think clearly, then you can think clearly. Women are thinkers.
Oh, she's
We are
strategic.
We can, honey, we are some very diabolical, people when we want to be.
Right. Amen.
We are multifaceted, honey. We are, we can come from all angles once we firing right.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
This could be a logical and strategic way of getting out of this. Yeah. And I mean,
But you got to get out.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
yes,
got to
no,
get
no,
out.
yeah.
That's the first
I
thing.
think that's
you
yeah,
got to
we know
get
that
out
we
of
just,
this.
We're just giving you options of trying to
Yeah.
figure out how
And
to,
I'm
to get
telling
help
you,
to get out.
Yeah, because you got to get out of this.
you're going to get out.
Mhm.
Like this is not going to ruin you forever.
Oh, God,
Tell that
no.
to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to ruin you forever. That's where the anxiety comes from.
It's a learning experience.
This is there you go. This is a learning experience.
Mhm.
It really is.
It is.
This is a
Ooh,
learning
life-
experience.
One hell of a
Yes.
learning experience.
Yes. It's
Expensive.
costly.
Yes.
It's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you, this is going to be the start of a massive transformation. Because
Mhm.
when she tells this story,
Absolutely.
I can see her telling on stage one day, y'all.
Yes.
Let me tell you about this time I
Yeah.
gave
Yes.
this Negro $200,000.
Girl, you want to come to fuck up night?
I was about to say,
I
you
was-
can be one of our speakers at Fuck Up Night.
I've been
And look where
on
I'm
it.
at now.
I've been there. I've told my story.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
And look at where I'm at now.
Yeah.
When you think about that,
Yeah.
you'll be on the other side of
Yes.
this.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, everybody, and understand that, you'll get through it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You'll get through it
Mm-hmm.
with help.
Mm-hmm.
That's half of the challenge is with anxiety
Yes.
is literally just when we feel anxious, essentially what we're saying is we're already cognitively
Mm-hmm.
assessing that whatever happens with this,
Mm-hmm.
she's already predetermined, I'm not going to be able to cope. I'm not going to be able to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's already predetermined in that. But
Come on,
You gonna make
Inside
it
Out
out?
too. I know that's right.
oh, yeah. Look.
Hey.
Y'all see?
Yes.
Look.
Yeah.
Y'all see?
Uh-oh.
When anxiety,
Okay, go
I know
ahead.
when anxiety was
Okay.
just spinning around,
spinning.
Yes.
Mhm.
and Joy stepped in, and
Mhm.
she says to anxiety,
You have to let her go.
Yes.
That
You
movie was
do.
not for kids. That was for us.
No, it was.
That caught me
Yes.
off guard. I
Yes.
was like, this
You
ain't
were,
for kids. Y'all talking to adults here.
Deep.
We got the anxiety.
Right. I was in the theater like, oh my
Yeah.
Pretty much. I was
I-
tired.
Yeah,
So I ain't gonna
you
lie,
let it
I
go.
teared up on that part because
Mhm.
to see a kid have an anxiety attack, like you
Yes.
said, and this is what's going on inside of a child, I'm thinking that's me though. That's how I feel.
Well, we all have a bit of a child in us, don't we?
God.
No matter how old you get,
Yes.
there's always a
Yeah.
child in you.
Yeah.
No kids were crying. You see that whole
Right.
part? You look
Right.
around, no kids.
Right. They're like, oh,
What?
this is cute.
Oh, this is cute.
Like, no, this is not cute. I'm having an anxiety
Can we
attack right
go?
now.
Can we go? No, cry.
Let me get it together first.
Get together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always believe that those movies are not made for children.
No.
No.
Mhm.
There
No.
was-
They're made for
yeah.
adults.
No.
They're adult things.
Mhm.
I was looking forward to seeing it.
I was too.
Yeah.
I was too. It's
Of
like,
course, you know.
Yeah. There's a lot of adult things.
Mhm.
We can always talk about the psychological issues that Disney movies have, because they're adult things.
Yes.
Mhm.
But I
Yes.
digress.
How they never have 2-parent homes. Never.
Mhm.
It's
Ever.
very rare.
And one parent always dies.
Mhm.
Always.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's,
Always.
and it's extremely tragic. You're
Yes.
like, whoa.
Mhm.
Nothing was
There's
more
some-
tragic than Lion King. Like, wow,
I
this
know.
is crazy.
And Bambi.
And we
the
st-
hell?
yeah,
Yes.
his mother died.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Think about that movie.
Right.
Cinderella. Mhm.
Cinderella. Think about it.
Right.
Mhm.
They
Well,
started that
dysfunctional
whole
families
Prince
going
Charming thing.
Prince and the Frog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yes.
Another frog.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Woo, honey.
It's not the prince.
Not the prince. I don't know. We can talk about that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Again. Yeah. Yes. Let's get up to some therapeutic
Mhm.
Mhm.
balance in here,
Mhm.
so that we can honestly
Mhm.
have those type of hard conversations with
Yeah.
ourselves and with others.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when you'll need some help.
Mhm.
You'll need
Mhm.
help doing that.
Yeah.
Your drop
know?
saved somebody else today. I'm telling you. Your drop
They are
saved
saving
lives.
lives.
They are saving
You're
lives.
not the first person to
Right.
say
I'm
that.
telling you.
Say you just
They
saving
will
lives one
help
drop at a
you.
time.
One
Not
drop at a
cuss people
time.
out.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I this close with me, but my drops was looking at me and I was like, let me just
Yeah.
take a moment.
Yes.
Let me drink my drink
Yes.
with my drops in. I'm gonna come back to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back
Because
to it.
that's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have to do, because you get to look at it differently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I said. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that it changed. It
No.
just means that at
Mm-mm.
least you're not having these incredible emotional yes,
outbursts.
responses to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Is
Mhm.
That is.
you just, because that's exhausting.
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah, it is, because I say it all the time.
Yeah.
I only have but so many give a fuck. So I'm gonna give out
Exactly.
because I got to have some for me.
Exactly.
You know,
Right.
I do, and I'm only gonna give out, but so many.
Right.
And once I've reached that limit,
Exhausted.
it's like, yeah, I'm like,
Mhm.
no,
I'm out to the next day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I was just
You have to
telling,
wait till
you
next
know, that's what I was just telling my brother before you guys came on. That's why I often let things just roll off my shoulders. Like you said,
Mhm.
I don't have a lot of energy to exert.
Yeah.
And then once I exert that energy or I get so mad and so pissed off, number one, I'm not going to like what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like me. You're probably not going to like me.
Mhm.
And then now once I come down, I got to think about what I just did. And I let you get me outside of character. And I don't want
Yeah.
that. You
Mhm.
know,
And
so it's like, no, you know what? You go
Mhm.
ahead.
Mhm.
You go ahead, because karma's gonna eat your ass up.
You know, you do. You have to, you have to do a risk analysis. I do it all the time.
Mhm.
And I think to myself, is that worth it? No.
No. Mm-mm. Now,
No.
some people
No.
deserve a good cussing out, a good
Mhm.
one.
Well,
Yeah,
I
good
use a
one.
blend of everything that's up here to make sure that I can have a conversation. Even like I was talking with my sister coming here
Good
about
transition.
because I do. I use it.
Yeah.
Literally everything that's up here. I
Mhm.
use this. I use these. I use this, and I'm all out of that. So, so literally everything that's up here, and then I talk to him. So
Yes.
everything that's up here, I use
You
to
have
be
your
able to be to be
Yes.
functional, so
Yeah.
that, like you said, that I can
And you walk.
and I go exercise and walk 2
Yes, you
miles a
do.
day. So
42.
the thing that people need to understand is, one, get your calibrated as you see fit,
Mhm.
Yes.
but you need it to be able to have these conversations that you're avoiding.
Mhm.
The one thing that I have realized since I've done it is I'm able to have tough conversations because I'm
Mhm.
relaxed, and whatever is going to come,
Mhm.
I'm prepared for. So I'm not thinking or overthinking. Now, what are they going to say? Now, if they say this, I wish you would say that. I'll slap the shit out. You don't go through that. It's like, this is how I feel. This is what I need to say, and let's keep this thing pushing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So and I set boundaries. Like, so even with my friends, of what I don't want to talk about, like, I'm not even trying to hear that right now, man. Like, I don't want to talk about
Mhm.
that. And then they'll come back to it. Hey, man, I said I don't want to talk about it. I had one friend push the politic button on me 3 times.
Mm.
The third time I was like, all right, bro, I'm gonna talk to you later, because I said I don't want to talk about that. Oh, all right, man, you were serious? Click. Nigga, yes, I was serious. But it helps me be aware, because at times you can fall into these rabbit holes with people, and you're like, how did I get here with?
Mhm.
Yes.
And it's just because, like you said, I'm operating from a place where I'm maybe not paying attention to self.
Mhm.
We have to pay attention to self a little bit more and be
Mhm.
accountable of where we're at, so we can deal or not deal with certain things and people,
Mhm.
and make a choice, versus having, like in this situation that we read from the messy letter, guilt that she's absorbing from him, that's coming from his previous relationships, that has nothing to do with her.
Mhm.
So then if I'm at a better place mentally, I can be like, well, this ain't really got
That
nothing
ain't
to
got shit to do with me.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
But when I'm operating from the deficit, which I'm gonna start telling people, you operating from a deficit, get your
Yeah.
shit together.
Mhm.
Because when you're operating from that spot, like you said, the first thing I'm gonna do is please, because abandonment might be a thing
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
she doesn't want to feel that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's terrible,
Yeah.
especially somebody who's so diligent.
And you know
Yeah.
what's funny, in the dating world, we call men like that, or women, because there will be ones that be crying a river, lemony snickets. I don't know if you guys are familiar
Let me
with
what?
lemony snicket.
Oh, I
It's
thought
a-
you said let me.
No.
Do. I'm like, what?
It's a children's book about kids that went through a series of unfortunate events.
Uh-huh.
Like, no matter
Wow.
what, they just couldn't get it together. Like, they were always faced with something, like they were orphans, and every single guardian they came to got killed. And but it was one thing after another, and that's what the books were based on. So in the dating world, we just call those lemony snickets, because you got way too much going on. Go fix that,
Wow.
and then come back.
Mm.
Well, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like they need you on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, that's like the system. So you have a victim who finds a person who has empathy with no boundaries. And so when you have empathy and no boundaries, it sets you up for abuse.
Yeah.
So the
That's
victim,
true.
kind of the person that's showing up is very victimized. Y'all gonna be a perfect fit.
Mm.
And that's what we call toxic.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes in the professional world, nurse.
Yeah.
Right.
So before we get out of here,
Same.
James, if you can give how people can reach out to you, how they can, set up an appointment and stop borrowing my therapy. Let me stop talking to y'all about what the hell goes on in my therapy appointments. Get your own.
Right.
Go ahead.
JamesPerkins.help. It's JamesPerkins.help. You either schedule a consultation or you can book your first appointment straight out the gate.
Sounds good. And on TV, drop the knowledge on TV.
Oh,
Go ahead, drop it.
Yeah, well, I'm here every 2 weeks. So thehealingconsultant.com. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can do vspencer@thehealingconsultant.com so that we can set up a consultation if you need one.
Is the new video up about the oil on YouTube yet?
Yes, the new video's up on YouTube.
Please go watch the new video that we just did.
Yes.
It's on YouTube. It's about the Dream City, and it talks about the hemp oil.
Yes, about the hemp oil. And y'all, now
that
we're going to be 10%. Yes, 10% off. Honey.
Yes, for the
it's a
month
new
of
launch,
August.
10% off. It's the bomb.
I sleep so well after I take a shower and put your hemp oil on. I immediately go to sleep. Immediately.
It's relaxing.
Be careful about putting it on your feet because my feet felt so good. I damn near fell.
Oh my God.
I put it on my feet, laid on the couch, stood up, and was like, oh, it was like walking on nothing. Like, not that they were numb. It's just they felt
walking
so, I was relaxed. Like, I'm like, oh,
Peter.
shit.
Oh,
Yeah. So I put it on my feet.
What? Okay, that's a mixed blessing.
It was because it felt so good. I wasn't anticipating it, so I'm just laying there like after my shower, put it on, put your legs, put it on your feet like lotion. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get some water, and I stood up like, wait a minute,
Feeling good.
I put it
feeling
on,
good.
I'm used to feeling Fred Flintstone feet. It wasn't like that. So.
Oh yeah, because it'll leave you silky smooth.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal moisturizer.
Love it.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
Love
it's
it.
like 5 different types of oil in there.
And it doesn't take a lot. A dab will do you.
Oh my God, it's fabulous. It is absolutely fabulous. I'm not just saying that because it's not. It's fabulous.
No, I'm telling you,
is.
every time I use it, I sleep so well, and I sleep through the entire night. I don't wake up. I'm not grinding my teeth or anything like that. Everything is
really soft.
Yes.
And I'm going to say, yes, before we forget, honey, happy National CBD Day tomorrow. Yes, so come visit the Healing Consultant.
Yes.
Get your groove on. Get that swerve on.
Come on.
And you got one more thing. Because the 17th?
Yes, we've got Mind, Body, Spirit Expo, August 17th and 18th. Boom. Booth 234.
And you'll be speaking at what time?
I'll be speaking Saturday at 1:00. And it's going to be Pain Shouldn't Be Permanent.
Hello.
Which is,
like
pain should not be permanent. No. And we're going to talk about the topicals. So, yes, be there. Put them up there.
And that oil, baby.
Wow. Woo. Yes. The new edition.
Yes.
I got my own new edition.
Yeah.
Look there. I can put like 5 up there and be new edition. Now 5 of them up there and be new edition.
Yes. So please make sure you take care of yourself and use the resources that we are providing. They gave all their information and use it. And we have, weather permitting, we will be here tomorrow because, North Carolina is a little funny around this time. It might be sunny at 1 minute and then a hurricane the next. And allegedly it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
They were canceled school for Wake County.
Yeah. So, So hopefully, God willing, we'll be here tomorrow. But if it's raining, we won't. So we'll push it to Friday. Am I saying it right?
No, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Cool. And God willing, see you tomorrow. TDS Radio, our voice, our culture. Peace. Oh, not peace. Now peace.
Oh, Lord.